This is by mattyballz. I'm subscribed to him, but I don't think I've watched any of his videos on stream before. I scrolled through though just to see if I did, and I have some of his stuff saved to watch later, but I never watch later. I just save them. So we're gonna check this one out because, like, why throw in the watch later? Rap songs with dark backstories. A lot of songs have some really dark backstories, especially in rap, that go unnoticed. So I'm excited to see if I know any of these already.
Rap songs, especially nowadays, are known for being vulgar and sometimes violent, but not too often are they known for being disturbing. But there are a handful of rap songs with very dark meanings and backstories that may not be known to the general public. From songs about
man, I don't know what he was thinking, bro. mattyballz is kind of wild, but hey, man, what you gonna do, bro?
Suicide and cannibalism to songs that sample brutal audio clips of people being killed. These are rap songs with dark backstories. So
I already know what the JPEG Mafia one is. I just killed a cop and now I'm horny.
Originally got this idea from Tuv and his video songs with disturbing backstories, so I decided to copy his homework and change it up a little bit. I'm just kidding.
Nice.
But I figured since I make videos about rap, I would do my own version with just rap songs. But make sure to check his out after you watch mine, of course. Also, I recently launched my Patreon where I'll be hosting a monthly song contest with a $100 prize. So for a $5 entry fee, you have a shot at $100. If you don't make music, I'll also be posting bonus content with a bunch of other cool perks. So make sure to check the link in my bio for more information. Now let's get into the video. Rich Minion by Yeet. I'm just kidding. Who the f is God by X?
Imagine Rich Minion just had like the craziest, darkest backstory. Like he was overdosing while he was writing it. I mean,
Tentacion. This is a song that X made out of anger after losing his uncle to suicide. X has referenced this incident before on the popular song Jocelyn Flores, where he says, "Memories surfaced through the grapevine about my uncle playing with a slip knot." X has said before that when he was younger, he was the one who discovered his uncle's body after he had hung himself. The song itself is very dark and aggressive, with X writing about his frustrations. It starts out strong with X talking
I feel like I don't remember this song. Like I might have only heard this once.
Attacking Jesus for what he allowed to happen. X says, "For every moment I counted on him, I'm fucking him up." Then he proceeds to say, "Torture victims are due to the scriptures, it's written as such, so every moment my uncle suffered was planned in the cut." This is referring to how the Bible says multiple times that God has everything planned out and knows everything that's going to happen in everyone's lives, yet for some reason he allowed X's uncle to suffer. I personally really like X's writing on this song because it perfectly captures the emotions of someone who's grieving and questioning their beliefs. Then X begins to get super gruesome with his depictions of what he wants to do to God for letting this happen. He ends the verse talking about how in the scriptures many people died in the name of God, and he may be referring specifically to the Great Flood. Then he says, "He just replaced you, you are a book on his shelf," meaning that everyone who died was just replaced by the people in the next book of the Bible. The chorus just repeats, "Who the f is God?" This song has been misinterpreted and misunderstood many times because of how raw it is, but in my opinion, X is very clearly...
A lot of people ain't trying to hear anything, you know, with people getting religious like this, but like not in a, you know, religious way like that, but just, you know,
painting a picture. He was raised Christian, prayed to God, but felt betrayed by God after losing his uncle, which caused him to question his beliefs. X has since said that he still believes in God, and interestingly enough, his last song was a prayer. I'm pretty sure the song Before I Close My Eyes on his Question Mark album was the last song he officially released, and the lyrics read, "Before I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I hope it's not too late for me." I'm pretty sure that was his last song, and I think it's pretty interesting and a little bit eerie.
It is eerie.
I just killed a cop, now I'm horny by JPEG.
Oh my god, this one is crazy. When I first heard this song, I was like, this is kind of weird, but I like it because, like, that's just his music. If you listen to JPEG Mafia, you know his music is a little weird sometimes, but it's good. But then I realized that the audio clip was of a cop being murdered.
This super controversial song by JPEG Mafia was released on his album Black Ben Carson in 2016. The song opens up with a sample from a dash cam video of a police officer by the name of Kyle Dinkeller pulling over a man named Andrew Brannon. Brannon was a Vietnam veteran who seemed to be suffering from PTSD. The dash cam footage shows Brannon acting crazy and jokingly telling the officer to shoot him. He went back to his car, grabbed a rifle, and began firing upon the officer. A shootout began, he advanced on the officer, and ended up shooting him 9 times. The sample in the song includes the screams of pain and the officer begging him not to shoot him. I'm not going to show the full clip for obvious reasons, but if you do want to watch it, you can find it on YouTube just by searching Kyle Dinkeller. It's super disturbing and really hard to listen to. Brandon was put to trial and eventually given the death penalty. The reason that JPEG Mafia used this sample is because this footage is often used in police training, and it teaches officers not to hesitate because it could cost them their lives. As a genius annotator writes, it promotes a shoot first, ask questions later mentality. JPEG Mafia has since said that he sympathizes with the officer, but it seems like he used the sample to evoke emotion and spark discussion. discussion. The whole song follows a very loose hypothetical storyline of JPEG Mafia being pulled over but killing the police officer that pulls him over, with the chorus repeating, "Who gonna weep when these coppers die?" It's as if he's questioning why he should feel bad when an officer dies when there's so much police brutality in the world. The violent sample and very graphic imagery makes for a very disturbing song. Rotten Sarah by Tyler, the Creator. Rotten Sarah is the sequel.
Oh, he bringing up Tyler. Rotten Sarah is a wild. This whole era is crazy. But yo, W list so
one
far.
Of Tyler, the Creator's most disturbing songs ever, Sarah. Rightfully so, it's included among many lists for the most disturbing hip-hop songs ever. The song Sarah follows Tyler asking a girl he likes to prom who says no. He proceeds to kidnap her and take her to his basement where he kills her. There's also a voice actor struggling and screaming, making the song even more eerie. This next part of the song is pretty graphic, but he proceeds to eat the upper half of the girl's body and then have sex with the bottom half. At the end of the song, the police find him, so he commits suicide just so that he doesn't have to be arrested. An important thing to note is that the audio quality of the last verse deteriorates quite a bit as opposed to the other two verses. This song is supposedly about a girl named Raquel because Tyler says on the song Bastard, "Raquel treat me like my father, like a f***ing stranger. She still don't know I made Sarah to strangle her." The only explanation I've seen Tyler give the song is in a blog post from 2009 when he released it, when he says, "A lot of people wondering if this song is about my true feeling or thought or a real girl or what. If you're very close to me, you know. If not, dig deep through your imagination to find out." Most likely this song is just about that girl named Raquel and is just an exaggeration of his emotions, but this explanation makes it a little bit more eerie. You might be wondering how it could get any more disturbing than that. Well, the song Rotten Sarah is the sequel to this song. It was presumably recorded in 2009 and was never officially released but was leaked this year. The audio quality is pretty bad, but I think that's intentional because of the drop in quality on the last verse of Sarah. It's a short song, but it opens with the lyrics, "Cold blood, green eyes with a mute body full of old drugs. Dead body laying next to Sarah. We're finally together. Truthfully, I kinda like this a little better." So after Tyler killed himself and Sarah, he raps about how he prefers being next to her with their two dead bodies because, as he says, they can finally be together. The chorus repeats, "Sarah stays rotten in my base. In the book of love, you should have seen the look on her face." Tyler actually tweeted this line in 2012, referencing the track for an unknown reason. Even the slightest possibility that the song could be based off of any real situation is pretty troubling, especially since he randomly tweeted out the lyrics 3 years after recording the song. A user on YouTube points out how the vocals sound very disturbing, like Tyler is legitimately sad and broken down. The vibe that this song gives off is extremely ominous, especially since it follows the horrific storyline of Sarah. Space Cowboy by Zilla Kami. Unlike some of the other songs on the list,
I'm not that into Zilla, so I have no idea what this is.
meaning behind this song is pretty obvious. A lot of rappers like to tell hypothetical stories from the perspective of others, but this song was straightforward and based on a true story. Zilla Kami was telling the story of his friend who killed himself in the woods. The lyrics, "Take a little walk and he never came back. We will find your son," told his mom to relax. He would never go nowhere without his baseball bat, are even more upsetting when Zilla Kami discloses that his friend really liked baseball in his interview with Brandon Buckingham. Nobody cared when he was breathing. He thought he was living for no reason because nobody cared for him. Nobody cared if he was eating. Are especially impactful because it really describes how people who are victims of suicide feel. When I first heard this song, I assumed it was just another fiction song, but I was really sad to hear that it was actually based on a true story about an actual incident with his friend. At the end of the song, he says, "And now I'm part of the problem, geez, and every night it starts to bother me." So sadly, it sounds like Zilla feels a little responsible for his friend's death. Zilla Kami says himself that this was the deepest song on his Dog Boy album and the hardest song to record. Grandpa Used to Carry a Flask by Mac Miller. Many of Mac Miller's songs have an eerie feel to them now, since in so many of them he talked about his drug use and how it would probably lead to his death, which it eventually did. But the song Grandpa Used to Carry a Flask is a particularly eerie song. It was released under his alias Delusional Thomas, which was his pitched up persona that would talk about all of his dark thoughts. On this song he raps from the perspective of Delusional Thomas, his darker side, and Mac Miller, his normal side. Kinda like some Jekyll and Hyde type of deal. Throughout Delusional Thomas's self-titled mixtape, Mac covers all of his vices and oddly enough talks a lot about religion. On different songs during the mixtape he says, "Read the Bible overwhelmed, knowing I'm gonna go to hell. I'm way too high for hell, I'll be somewhere in between her. And even Mother Mary twerk well, watch her work them thunder thighs." Grandpa Used to Carry a Flask is a culmination of all these ideas. Mac was influenced by many religions growing up, but on this song he was questioning everything. Delusional Thomas has constantly represented Mac's desire to just give up on religion and do whatever he pleases, including falling victim to his vices. Mac's verse on this song says, "Voice is hoarse, getting harder to speak. Remarkable themes talking Mark of the Beast. I saw them caught on the leash, we walk in common asleep." Mac refers to addiction as a leash, his leash being drugs, and his grandpa's being alcohol. Because of these addictions, he's sleepwalking through life, going through the motions. Later in the song, Delusional Thomas says, "Having conversations with myself, getting into arguments," which is evident in the song. In the final verse, Mac says, "Mr. Jesus, can you save my life?" Although it's really confusing, Mac is clearly battling with his darker thoughts on this song. On the song San Francisco, Mac says, "I've inherited the thirst for self."
I still haven't listened to Faces all the way through. I've only heard like 2 songs. I'm not gonna lie, I don't listen to albums like that for real. I don't. I listen to like the same 100 albums like every year.
and I'm scared of it. And it seems like Delusional Thomas is that thirst for self-destruction embodied. The song is very disturbing in my opinion for a variety of reasons, like how accurately it parallels struggles with addiction, but even more so disturbing because Mac lost that battle. Not only is it about drugs, but it's also a battle within himself, figuring out what's right and what's wrong, which many people seem to struggle with. Mac now understands when his grandpa carries a flask. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to check out Tuv's video if you haven't seen it. Also, if you know any other rap songs with very dark backstories, let me know in the comments below. Since we're on the topic of dark rap songs, I recently made a video about Satanism's relationship with rap and whether or not a lot of these rappers are actually Satanists, so make sure to check that out. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. This has been mattyballz, and I'll see you guys next time.
I'll probably check that out off stream, maybe. W video though, high key, like I said, W list, honestly. Especially that JPEG Mafia one, bro. That's gotta be my favorite one. Cause it's like, bro really just didn't care. He really just did that and was like, feel how you want about it. I respect that.